After having spent over $50 million with Google Ads and literally trying everything under the sun in terms of strategy, I can confidently say I will never do these 5 things, which I'm about to mention in this video, ever again. And trust me when I say this, I've tried literally all of these 5 things across various different industries, niches, revenue ranges, and they have simply not worked. But with that, the first thing you should never do with Google Ads is shut off performing campaigns. I see so many brands, especially those that we just start working with under my Google Ads agency, Your Marketing, where they want a completely new setup of completely brand new campaigns. But when I go inside their ad account, their current campaigns are already performing at break even, or they're even performing better, and they might be spending a couple $100 a day, maybe even $1,000 or $2,000 per day or more, and they want these shut off to have a brand new approach. This is one of the worst mistakes you can take, because momentum is key with Google Ads. It doesn't matter if your momentum is leading you to be at break even or maybe even slightly unprofitable. That momentum is a crucial part of your entire Google Ads account and your campaign strategy. The moment you go in to shut off that momentum is the moment you have to start all over from scratch. Now, all of the data you're getting via Google Ads, it is getting stored on the account level within the ad accounts. However, it's not going to be enough to scale your brand to the next level, especially if you have to destroy that momentum and start from scratch. So what I always say is, instead of just shutting off the performing campaigns, shut off everything that's unnecessary, shut off everything that's causing overlap, but leave the campaigns which are at least at break even or maybe even more profitable than that running, because over time, as you optimize them, as you make them better, as you build a strategy on top of them, there's a very good chance they will actually start performing at a much better rate, or they'll be much more profitable, so on and so forth. But you don't want to risk destroying that momentum. Second thing you must never do with Google Ads is ignoring keyword exclusions. Now, I see a lot of brand owners, just because they run performance max campaigns, for example, say that they can't exclude pmax keywords, so they don't even want to try. Well, the reality is there's ways to get around this. You can basically contact Google Ads support, submit a form to have certain keywords excluded. You can make your pmax campaigns non-branded traffic versus branded traffic, so on and so forth. But the worst thing you can do is, just like Google, run with the keywords whatever it's ranking for, because what happens is, over time, not only do you start ranking for just the bad keywords which are not leading you into profitability, they're just kind of wasting your money, but a lot of your keywords become education based versus buying intent based. I've seen it happen so many times when I'm going inside an ad account and I see some keywords such as how to do this or how to do that, or why does this work, or why does that work, for instance. And these keywords on the surface level might seem like it's eventually going to lead to a purchase, but the thing is, on a deeper level, these keywords are just high education based keywords. They're not high buying intent keyword, which means there's a very low chance somebody will convert from these type of keywords. So you're better off just not wasting your money on those keywords. Now, you can run these types of keywords to blog pages or education based content, but that's pretty much it. You cannot be mixing up education based keywords with high buying intent keywords, because this is going to lead Google down the wrong rabbit hole, and eventually it's going to be very difficult to get out of this rabbit hole. I know this because I've seen so many brands come with these problems to my agency, and it literally takes us just months to get over this kind of little hump before we can actually start scaling profitably. Which, by the way, if you run a brand doing $50,000 or more per month in revenue, you need some extra help scaling to the next level with Google Ads. Go on to my website at yourmarketing.com, schedule a completely free call with me, and let's see how we can potentially work together and make that happen. But third thing you must never do with Google Ads is smart bidding with a weak feed or a weak conversion tracking setup. Smart bidding relies on your product feed. Smart bidding relies on a good conversion tracking setup. If you have neither of these, then what's going to happen is your smart bidding campaigns are not going to work properly. They're going to go after the wrong audience, and over time, slowly, what happens is your entire ad account starts going after and targeting the lower quality pool of audience, simply because this smart bidding strategy is going after that low quality audience in general, because it doesn't know any better. So that's why you need to first focus on having a very high quality product feed. I've made tons of videos on this, which you can check out on my channel. Second, you need to have proper conversion tracking setup, and you need to be ensuring that it is 90 to 95% accurate overall. But once that is done, that's when you will start using smart bidding strategy with a much better success rate. The profitability will be much higher. The revenue will be much higher long term as well. And that will allow your brand to scale very, very aggressively very quickly. Because if you find yourself in sort of a plateau, it's probably because your product feed is not strong enough or the conversion tracking has some leaks in it. But fourth thing you must never do with Google Ads is treating performance max campaigns or any other smart bidding campaign, for example, as a black box campaign. Now, what I mean by this is most brands, what they do is with the performance max campaign, they'll put in a bunch of assets in there, images, logos, videos, signals, interests, so on and so forth. And they will just let that performance max campaign run with all of those things added to one asset group. Well, the thing is now, number one, you don't know what's working. Number two, even if something is working, you're not able to replicate the results because, again, it goes back to number one, you don't really know what's working. So that makes your performance max campaign a sort of a black box campaign, and you're giving away too much control to the Google Ads algorithm. So instead, what we want to do is we want to maintain our own control. We want to know exactly what's working, what's not working with proper A/B testing. And that's basically what we do with performance max campaigns as well, without treating it like a complete black box. You can do this by adding maybe one asset group in there with certain images in there, certain logos, interests, etc. And then another asset group in there with maybe the assets as the same thing. So the images, logos, etc. are all the same, but there's no signals here or there's no interest here because we're trying to A/B test and basically find that one factor which makes our account work or which doesn't make our account work, whether it's interest and targeting or whether it's not running with interest and targeting. But second, the feed only approach is something you can try as well, where one asset group is feed only with a bunch of interests, signals, etc. added in. Another asset group is feed only with no signals, no interest added in. So what this does again is it basically allows us to isolate that one thing so that we can test it against something completely different. And over time, we can start to build momentum on top of this ad strategy. But final thing which you must never do with Google Ads in general is to ignore the inside section. The inside section is like the hidden gem with Google Ads. It has so much juicy information, which not only helps your ads become stronger, but it also helps you create a stronger backend, create a stronger landing page experience, so on and so forth, which ultimately helps your business as a whole, because now you're using real data to improve everything, not just your campaign strategy. And the inside section, what I personally do is I like to go in every 14 days, 21 days to kind of devour the inside section, improve my product titles, descriptions, the Google Merchant Center, the backend feed with all the keywords that are ranking, all of the keywords that are working, so on and so forth. And then from there, basically scale accordingly. But inside section is something that should never be ignored. But if you run a brand doing $50,000 or more per month in revenue, you need some extra help scaling to the next level with Google Ads. Go onto my website at yourmarketing.com and schedule a completely free call with me, and let's see how we can potentially work together and make that happen.